Hello everyone, this is the Electronic Entertainment Hamster here with another Bloodborne PvP video. Although today we're not really gonna talk about Bloodborne or its PvP, so please enjoy the footage, maybe. Because, we're not gonna really discuss too much Bloodborne right now. So you may have noticed that I haven't been making a lot of videos lately. I typically keep like a steady schedule that I mentioned before, which was going to be a Dark Souls remaster video, and then a Bloodborne video, and then a remastered video, and then a Bloodborne, so on and so forth. The thing is that ever since E3 began and ended, I have been more or less taking a break a little bit, and I've just been like focusing on other games. Like I've been playing other games. I've been playing a lot of Killing Floor 2 on the PS4 with a friend of mine. I was playing a remaster, Dark Souls 1 remaster, but I wasn't really focusing on PvP. I was just doing another character, a quality character, which you'll more than likely see in the next video. I was playing even some Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, a great game. I've been thinking about sitting my ass down and learning how to program and to try to get my own game going. I want to make an RPG at some point. Nothing too fancy, nothing AAA, definitely. Just to try to make something a little bit more concrete than what I have already done in RPG Maker. Maybe move it from RPG Maker to something else. I don't know. I've just been focusing on other stuff. I've been trying to write some more and just sort of generally taking a break and definitely keeping track of a lot of games that I'm interested in that are going to come out in the future. But today I want to talk to you about one game specifically, which is why I had that music at the beginning. That's Tenchu music. I fucking love Tenchu. And I cannot mention Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, without mentioning Tenchu, because it's basically just Fromsoftware's Not-Tenchu game. Anyway, of course the game has caused an uproar among the quote-unquote community. And people are complaining, there's no builds and there's no PvP and a lot of the complaints typically come from people that only played the Souls games and have only been playing Souls games for a while now, barely touching anything else, or always comparing everything with Dark Souls. One look at FromSoftware's list of developed games, it tells you that they do different stuff all the time, and they have been doing different stuff all the time since they began with their Kingsfield series, which is basically prototype old school Skyrim, basically. It's an adventure game, fantasy adventure game. It's basically not Skyrim. I shouldn't say Skyrim. I'm just trying to meme. It's more like a prototype of what became Demon Souls and Dark Souls. But anyway, they did not start with Dark Souls, and a lot of people know this, but they refuse to accept it. They know for a fact that FromSoftware did not start with Demon Souls and then they got famous and then, whatever. I'm not going to argue that, yeah, they got famous because they made Demon Souls and Dark Souls. That's where they first began to really make a lot of noise within the industry. I'm not going to argue that. That's completely true. But they did not start working on those games. But the reality is that there is no reason for them to keep releasing the same game, reskinned, but with the same formula and gameplay. Ask yourself this: do you really want to play the same game for the next 10 years? Because here's the thing, even if they take the Bloodborne route, of doing different settings each time, we got the Gothic Victorian setting for Bloodborne. What if they make something else, Cyberpunk Souls or Future Souls, where you're fighting with all this high tech weaponry and it's basically going to be the same as Dark Souls or Bloodborne, but with a different setting. how do they really do that without making the gameplay systems and formulas, without making them feel old and repetitive? Do you really want Souls games to become the next Call of Duty? And I'm not calling out anyone that likes Call of Duty. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm such a hardcore gamer. I'm so different and special. I don't like Call of Duty. I don't like Call of Duty because, first of all, I don't like that type of shooter. And second of all, they do have a lot of shitty practices. Like, I consider Call of Duty like the innovator of, DLC and bullshit and just reselling the same game over and over. They really more or less popularized that trend within the video game industry. And I'm not blaming them because they made money and they're still going to make money. I do believe that they're still doing the same thing to this day. So, but do you really want to see a beloved company stoop that low? Because, for the most part, From Software are, they're pretty honest. They're not feeding you bullshit, like a company like EA or Capcom or something like that. They're pretty honest. They deliver with their content. Do you really want them to just keep repeating the same game for the next 10 years while you claim that you're a fan? Like, it doesn't really work with me. Like, I don't get that. The other thing I want to mention is that because Sekiro does not have a online, it really exposes a lot of people that have this obsession with the online aspect of the games, and I get it. It's unique. Like, for me, the actual shame for me is that there's not going to be any invading. But there was a leak that mentioned that people can control PvE enemies to try to kill players that way. So let's hope that, that part is at least true. But to me, that's not a necessity. I don't need it to live. I don't need it to keep my love for video games alive. A lot of people are depending on that to keep them playing something. Like, don't bullshit me. Just flat out tell me that you don't like video games except the Souls games. Like, how can you say that you like games or anything where you literally only want games to be the same game over and over? Like, people are trying to find Dark Souls in every other game. That's like, the whole meme about article writers writing, oh, this platforming game is like the Dark Souls of platformers. This shooting game is like the Dark Souls of shooting games. This puzzle game is the Dark Souls of puzzle games. That whole fucking shtick. That's actually kind of true, and not just for journalists. Players are behaving that way now. A lot of people are hating already on Sekiro because it's literally not Dark Souls. It's the same bullshit that happened with Bloodborne. People tried Bloodborne, they wanted to just rush the PvE, and then they looked up what the streamers and YouTubers were up to, and the streamers and YouTubers said, oh, this is actually not as good as Dark Souls 1 PvP, we don't like it, and we're not going to play it anymore. So people, obviously, monkey see, monkey do. Oh, I don't like this because it's literally not Dark Souls, therefore I dislike it. It's the same pattern over and over, and I think that there are people out there that would actually be okay with playing Dark Souls 15. They're okay with Dark Souls becoming an extensive, repetitive series like Call of Duty. And that's a shame because, quality over quantity, Jesus Christ, For some people, that's a shame, but I personally think Fromsoft and Miyazaki are at their best when they make games they want to make, not just contractual obligation games and sequel after sequel. I understand the lack of the online in general damages the replay value. I'm not arguing that. But look, it's either this single-player focused game or having the same game over and over, eventually stagnating the formula to the point that it becomes a joke, just like Call of Duty was or is. I don't know. They keep releasing the same game over and over with different skins. Like, I don't want that to happen, all right? Anyway, enough ranting. Sekiro is looking good, and it's bringing that delicious single-player focus back. Now, there are comparisons to be made. On my part specifically, I want to mention the Tenchu series. But I want to mention another game that has specific similarities. In Sekiro, the main character has a prosthetic arm. But in another kind of obscure PS2 game called Blood Will Tell. That's the name of it. The main character has replacement parts all over his body. And the setting for that game is ancient Japan as well. So, there's similar concepts. That concept of a warrior in ancient Japan with, prosthetic arms that shouldn't be possible for that time. It's not entirely new, It has shown up before. It just people, they don't know about it. But anyway, back to Tenchu. The animation in the trailer for Sekiro where the protagonist has his back against the wall, he's seemingly sneaking around, that is pure Tenchu, and so is the grappling hook, because the grappling hook has been a staple of the Tenchu games since the very first one. And so have the stealth kills. So Sekiro is apparently going to have a little bit of stealth element to it. You seem to be able to stealth kill enemies, or at least what I believe is going to be just, landing a critical attack. I think that's how it's going to work. I don't know if there has been any confirmation on how that actually works, but I think it's going to be instead of a backstab, if your enemy is unaware of your presence, you're going to get a critical on them, which is more than likely going to kill them in one hit. So it's basically going to be a stealth kill, I think. Whether it's 100% a stealth kill in Tenchu style, where you can literally just stealth kill, just one shot, there's no fighting involved if they don't know where you are. Whether it's that or it's just a critical hit, I'm fine with it either way. Look, I don't know about you, but I'll trade gimmicky PvP for a solid single-player focused experience if it can match what we saw in Bloodborne. And I know, I wank Bloodborne all the time, and this channel is basically a huge Bloodborne masturbation wanking festival, but this can only be good for the single player. I understand many people don't like the ancient Japan aesthetic and style, but again, I'm biased because my very first game for the PlayStation, and technically the first game that I ever actually owned, because I used to share a Super Nintendo with my sister and whatever, and it was our console. It wasn't my console. Even though I'm the one that played it more, But my actual first console that was mine was a PlayStation 1. And my very first game was Tenchu. The first one. Stealth Assassins. So of course I have a huge bias, but hey, at least I'm letting you know. I'm not getting paid to shill Sekiro. I fucking wish, dude. I'm just really excited because I have been craving that single-player experience again, that a lot of games now, they just, they focus on multiplayer, multiplayer is the greatest shit ever now, we got Fortnite with their Battle Royale memes, and, I want to play by myself. Why would you willingly, deal with other human beings on the internet? Why the fuck would you do that? That's disgusting. Why? Why would you want to interact with human beings on the internet where you can be completely alone? That's disgusting. Ew. Anyway, all kidding aside, I'm actually really interested in knowing what Souls games content creators are going to do now, as well as most of the PvP guys. It's kind of clear that at least for now, Fromsoft is not going to make any more Souls-like, at least not with... If what they're saying is true, because they could patch in some last-minute PvP just to shut people the fuck up. If it's really going to be single-player focused, what are the PvP guys going to do for YouTube? I'm actually genuinely interested because I'm good. I can play Bloodborne forever. I have made that abundantly clear. I mean it when I say that I'm going to play until the server is shut down, and that's going to be it. Because, the old PvP guys, like Ouroboros and Peeve, they basically cashed out early after Dark Souls 1, sort of, and they made a name for themselves, and people watch them even when they play other games, despite being known for Dark Souls. So I wonder if this means if, a lot of people are going to just stop making videos, or if everyone is just going to play Dark Souls 3 forever until the servers shut down. Though I figure it's going to get I don't know, super boring at some point. Because, I mean, a lot of people have already left because they don't want to play it anymore. Even some of the PvP guys. You know, so I'm really actually, you know, genuinely curious as to what's going to change on their channels and whatever. I mean, you know, there's always room for more hunters in Yarnum. You know, if you want to learn a different game or if you want to give Bloodborne PvP a second chance, you know, something different, you can try again without the meme goggles or misinformation that everyone believed back in 2015 about the game, you know. But anyway, man. As for me, what you can expect, I mean, I'm going to try to play, I mean, I'm not going to try, I am going to. I'm going to be playing Fallout 76 because I have always wanted to play a Bethesda Fallout game online, and I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner. I'm sorry if you can hear that helicopter in the background. What the hell? That vertibird in the background. So I wanted to play a Bethesda Fallout game online, and they didn't do it sooner, you know? So finally, you know? People are already worried about like loot boxes and microtransactions, but I mean, if they're gonna keep their word on free DLC and updates, it makes sense from a business perspective. Did you see that guy? He got fucking destroyed by the spiders. I didn't even have to do anything. Jesus Christ. So if they're gonna keep their word on that, you know, the free stuff, the free DLC and updates, it makes sense that they would want to make money off of like cosmetics and stuff like that. I think it could work, but again, my main focus is on gameplay with my friends, and I'm not really going to buy any extra shit. Like I always say, vote with your wallet. If they're going to sell you stuff, you know, just to maintain the servers running and they can keep giving us free updates, if they're going to keep doing that, because I'm not sure yet. Vote with your wallet to let them know that you want good extra stuff that you can buy. Not just a shitty Raider hat or glasses for $10 a piece. You know what I mean? Make sure that it's good content, that you support good content. You know, a lot of people think that that's a shitty way to go about things. You know, oh, voting with your wallet doesn't work. Yeah, but I mean, if you keep thinking like that and you keep giving them money, of course it's not going to work. You know? How do you think Capcom still sells the same Street Fighter game for like 10 years? Because they keep giving them money for it. Fuck you, Capcom. Look at this fucking Bell Maiden. Isn't she beautiful? Is that the first time you've ever seen a Bell Maiden kill someone? Because that was my first time. And that happened last night, I think. I was laughing my fucking ass off. Anyway, yeah, I mean, Sekiro, I'm super excited for that game. I just want to play a game and have that single player experience and just not have any PvP cancer and just not any fucking memes and meme build. Like, the thing that gets me is that even when Neo came out, people were like, is this Dark Souls? Is this just Japanese setting Dark Souls? Why isn't it Dark Souls? I don't like it. It's not Dark Souls. Fuck off back to Dark Souls then. Jesus. Even when they added PvP to Neo, people were like, the PvP isn't like in Dark Souls. Why isn't it like Dark Souls? Because it's not called Dark Souls, you fucking dick. And the same thing happened with Bloodborne. The exact same thing. And I think that people like that just need to play more video games. You're not playing enough video games. You're playing Dark Souls, you're pressing R1 with your meta build. That's all you're doing with your life. And hey, that's fine. That's completely fine if you want to do that. But don't expect me to take you seriously when you're like, why isn't this Dark Souls? Give me more Dark Souls. That's ridiculous. Look, if you want Dark Souls for the next 10 years, that's cool with me, man. But I mean, companies have to make money and they have other ideas that they want to try out, so give them a chance. Maybe, what if you play Sekiro and you're like, fuck, this is gonna suck. I'm not gonna replay it because it doesn't have meme PvP builds and I can't mash R1 and stun lock everyone to death and just, I fucking hate it. What if you like it? What if you're like, oh shit, this game is actually pretty fucking good. I think I'm gonna play it a couple more times. Holy shit. What if they make a huge map and it's like, you know, exploration focused and you're like, oh fuck, there's a lot of places to go and a lot of shit to see. I may actually have to replay this because I missed a lot of things. Wow, this is actually a nice video game. I really like this. I enjoy this. This was a very good experience. So you see, not everything has to be Dark Souls. Give me Dark Souls PvP again for the billionth fucking time with the same formula. Why do you think I am obsessed with Bloodborne? Because even though it follows a formula as well, it's different enough that it's just more fun for me. But again, I am biased and I am a human and there's opinions everywhere. And my opinion doesn't really matter that much. So if you want to just not play it, then don't play it. And if you do, then go ahead. Enjoy. Anyway, that is enough rambly. And I will see you in the next one, where I will probably show you my quality build in Dark Souls 1. I've been enjoying that quite a lot for some reason. So yeah, what do you think about Sekiro and that whole thing? Just let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.